Imagine this. You've had those moments, those flashes of bliss, where everything just clicks. Maybe it was true meditation. Maybe it was something else. A higher state. A deep connection. A wave of love that washed over everything. And then just as quickly as it came, it was gone. Like stepping from a warm, sunlit garden back into a grey, confined room. You felt that contrast, haven't you? And it's so easy to think that you need to chase those highs, to keep running after them, trying to grasp them, trying to hold on to them. But what if the real magic was never in those fleeting moments themselves, but in the contrast they created? What if those experiences, they were never meant to be destinations, but signposts? What if they were gentle whispers from your higher self, showing you the gap between where you are and where you can be? Because when you think about it, every high is a mirror held up to your own beliefs, and every low is just a reminder of the walls you've built around your own potential. And as you start to notice this, you can begin to realize those walls, the fear, the doubt, the old stories that you tell yourself, they aren't as solid as they once seemed. In fact, they might not be real at all. Isn't it interesting how illusions, they can feel so real until you see through them? And the more you start to let go of those limiting beliefs, the more space you create for the truth. The truth that you are more powerful than you ever imagined. That confidence, love, abundance, these aren't things you need to find. They're things you need to uncover. They've been inside you all along, just waiting for you to brush away the dust, to see them shine. And as you breathe, really breathe, you can start to feel that shift happening, can't you? With each breath, letting go a little more. Each exhale, releasing what no longer serves you. And as you release, you rise. You lighten. You open up more space for joy, for fun, for that playful energy that makes life not just bearable, but brilliant. Because you already know, the more you let go, the further you can go. And it's almost funny how the less you try to force things, the more everything just starts to flow. Like stepping into a river and letting it carry you. Knowing that the current is always taking you exactly where you need to be. And maybe now you're starting to notice how all of those joyful experiences, those moments of bliss, they're not distractions from life, but they're invitations to life. Invitations to step into a higher vibration, to bring in more energy, to channel more love, connection and positivity. You might wonder, what would happen if you just accepted that invitation? What if you allowed life to become easier, more fun, more aligned with who you really are? And you can, can't you? You can choose right now to shed those old restrictive beliefs, to release them with love, faith, trust and certainty. And as you do, you can feel that sense of freedom, that sense of lightness growing inside you. So as you think about all this, you might start to wonder, what old beliefs are you ready to let go of today? What story are you ready to rewrite? And isn't it exciting to know that as you release, as you let go, life just keeps getting better and better, one breath at a time. Because it's fascinating, isn't it? How contrast itself is the key. Because if you never knew darkness, would you ever truly recognize the light? If you never felt restriction, could you ever appreciate true freedom? And isn't it interesting how every peak, it's only a peak because of the valley that came before it. And as you begin to wonder about that, you might start to notice something. That the highs, they weren't just highs. They were invitations. They were glimpses into what's possible when you step beyond the walls of the mind, beyond the old stories, beyond the beliefs that told you that this was as good as it gets. Yet isn't it funny how the mind tries to hold on to what it already knows? How it clings to patterns, to habits, to familiar pains, simply because they're familiar. But what happens when you start to question those patterns? What happens when you ask yourself, what specifically is stopping me from experiencing that bliss, that love, that connection right now. And as you ask that, you might begin to notice that what's really there, underneath it all, is just a belief, a thought, a perspective, a lens to which you've been viewing reality without realizing you can simply switch lenses. Because isn't it true? Beliefs are not facts. They're not laws of the universe. They're choices, and every choice, once seen clearly, can be changed, can't it? So what if, instead of chasing, instead of longing, instead of feeling separate from the higher state, you simply stepped into it right now? What if you knew deeply that every time you feel resistance, every time you feel limitation, that was just an old program running? And what happens when you become aware of a program? It'll lose its power, doesn't it? It becomes something you can rewrite. And as you consider that, you might find yourself naturally releasing, letting go, making space, because every time you let go of an old limiting belief, you create more room for expansion, more room for joy, more room for effortless flow. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to realize that those glimpses of bliss, they're never meant to be something you reach for. They were something you are, something you've always been, something that gets revealed the moment you stop holding on to the weight of the past. And the more you let go, the more you rise. The more you rise, the easier it becomes. And as this momentum builds, you may even begin to wonder, how good can life actually get? Because what if it's only just beginning? What if you've always known the best is yet to come?